wanted to push myself. I was lifting. I wanted to see how far I can go physically. So it was just on a whim, basically.
Yeah. Well, everybody has different situations how to get to sport of bodybuilding. Some ladies coming from a very athletic, like you were playing softball as a young lady, be athletic, and then after you get out of the Army, that regiment of lifestyle you gain in the military service is sometimes plays into bodybuilding. I've
Mhm.
talked to ladies who got into it because of, like myself, I'm a man of heavier size, and sometimes if I try to fight obesity, and you find the place at the gym, and somebody says, "Hey, you thought about doing bodybuilding? You look really good." Or with some
Mhm.
cases, some women because of dealing with issues of either some kind of form of abuse of food, physical abuse, mental abuse, and the gym was a place for them to go to really work out their inner demons.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So the plan was originally you were thinking about doing bikini, but then they said, "Yeah, yeah, you're too buff for bikini." But look at bikini girls now; they're pretty buff.
Yeah, no kidding. But it was, yeah, I had no idea what each division meant. Um, I think we had just started prep with my very first coach, and we were still kind of up in the air of what division I was going to do. And she's like, "Yeah, I think you're definitely figure." I was like, "What is that?" Like, we already started prep. I still don't know what figure division is. So it was so random, so like up in the air. But once I like really learned about it, yeah, this is definitely my division, what I want to grow into. And it's been a lot of fun since. And that was back in 2023.
Wait, shit. You haven't been competing too long, have you?
Very new.
Yeah, like the best way to say it, like from a character I used to know on a show called Martin, Jerome. You're still wet behind the ears and breath smell like Similac.
Yeah.
It's a term when you talk about baby. So you're still pretty much a baby. So
Yeah.
and just yeah, but I say I've just one lady you competed against. She made her bodybuilding debut this year. That is Britt Mills, and then
Yes.
you both compete in the same class in physique, but
Hmm.
she won her class in bodybuilding, and you won your class in figure. And she's pretty brand new. But I remember a few years ago, a competitor, if you know her, Hunter Henderson, she
Yes.
debuted, her first bodybuilding show back in 2021, got her pro card at the same place, the USA Championships, and then made her pro debut at Tampa the week later, and was number two behind the champion at that time, Mona Persillet.
Hmm. Yeah, no, she kicks ass.
Yeah, I think she's going to be taking a step back this year. I know she was also at the you had a little posing clinic at the USA Championships. She was there with Ryan Tamskin, who's competing also today.
Hmm.
Amanda Machado, Lavinia Barros. We've seen also. I saw a video. I got it posted on my social media too, and we have Christy Mendoza working with the posing.
Hmm. Yeah, they did the seminar, I think, at Dragon's Lair.
It's a pretty popular
Very
gym.
packed.
Yeah, I saw the video. It was like a crowd. So for
Yeah.
you, what was that experience like that first time? You little dainty little girl on stage, and you're covering the bikini, and everybody looking you up down says, "Yeah, she looked like a fresh piece of meat." Yeah,
Yeah. Well, my first show, it went by super fast, but it was a lot of fun. And I was very nervous. I was like, okay, you know, I I would wear heels, going out and stuff, but like to walk on stage in heels, I was like, I'm gonna mess this up somehow. So I was very nervous about walking. But the second it was my turn to walk out onto stage, I was like, I got this. And it was very calm. I think I kind of used the nerves to like really focus. And then once I came off stage, I was like, I want to go back out there. And I just, the fire was lit. And I was like, I need to keep doing this until I can, go as far as I can. It was a lot of fun. I did my first show in 2023. Just did one. I qualified, took the overall for figure. And then I did North Americans in 2024, second show ever. I took third in my class. Um, did not do as well as I wanted to. Lots of on then. And then I moved back to California, took the rest of 2025 off. So like push for an off season. and then beginning of this year, still pushing, and then we started prep, I think in May, April, late April, early May. So 2 shows, year and a half, and then I did the LA show in Anaheim, and then USA's right after. So I've only really done, this is like my third prep. So very, very new.
Yeah, it's a process.
Yeah.
With bodybuilding and the understanding of the development of a competitor. Like the everyday person, when you think about bodybuilding, you think about two people. Yesterday was the birthday of Arnold Schwarzenegger. One of the most well-known, most established bodybuilders. Second one is Luke Ferrigno. He was Incredible Hulk. He was the Hulk I grew up with. I seen that video with. Dun,
Yep.
dun, dun, dun. I used to remember watching that. I remember was one comedian talking about how he used to watch it, and at the end of the show when they do this, I say, I hope they find a cure because we were crying as kids.
Yep.
But it is, like I said, I think people need to understand that it's not about, what kind of supplement you take. So what kind of, whatever performance enhancers. There's natural bodybuilding, which is getting very popular in the last few years. And even the enhanced competitors, it takes the time to follow to discipline, to be regimental, and also to be consistent. Because if you do it half-assed, you're not going to get the results you want.
No, not even close. It's day in and day out, 24/7. You have to train hard. You have to eat well. You can't just take something and expect to be stage ready. It's years worth of time. So it's a lot, but it's good. It's really good. I love it.
That's the thing I tell you, ladies. You love it, but it's one thing. It's like it's like there's a place called the Peace Corps, which is the toughest job you ever love, and that's what bodybuilding is with some competitors. The diet's one thing, the training's another thing, the cost of competing. Because I was talking to one young lady who was competing at the show. The expense of paying for, you might have, like, you were doing both physique and women's bodybuilding. Why were we doing physique?
So my coach really wanted me to try it and go for it. I posted just like a fun women's physique pose on my Instagram story one day, and he's like, all right, so moving forward for check-ins, I want to see women's physique poses. And I was like, I was just kidding. Like, please don't make me do this. But we did it, and it was a lot of fun. Like, I got to really show off the conditioning that he produced out of me, and I think it was worth it, even though I took third. With it being so last minute and not having trained arms for like a year and a half, and like I still did well. So I was like, all right, this might be something I can look forward to in the future, but figure for sure is going to be it. But it was a lot of fun. It was very much worth it.
Yeah, you got to go out there and have fun with it. You
Yeah.
don't want to take it too seriously, but just serious enough where you know what you're doing. And you mentioned your coach. Who's your coach? Who are you working with?
Justin Jacoby.
Again, I keep getting his girls. I mean, he is like, what is this man? He has power with y'all women. That I was talking with Lindsay online. She's hanging out in Tampa. Yesterday was birthday of Haley Brake, a friend of mine. Interviewed her a while back. She turned pro a couple of years ago in nationals. I interviewed April Cosamato. I just had an interview with a lady, Miss Karen Johowski. Quite a few ladies. I mean, he's Hayden Mola. I interviewed her right before she had a pro card. I mean, he's really building a stable of ladies.
Oh yeah, big time. He knows what he's doing for sure.
Yeah. I think that's something you ask about. Would a woman prefer a coach as a man, or for a woman as a man, or just somebody who really has a knowledge of of training, biology, and all that other stuff?
So I will say, my first coach was a female. I did really like her. She was women's physique, so I think she wanted to push a little too much than what I was willing to do for my first show. So I, took a step back, but we got along really well. Woman to woman, we got along really well. But what I've noticed with Jacoby is I do really well when I'm just given a plan, do this, do that, execute, done. Got it. He's very much like that. So when we first started, I was literally rebuilding my whole life again. So it was kind of a slow start, but I got plan, the meal plan, the training program. I was like, all right, I'm on it. And ever since then, he's just been very straight to the point, very, I need you to train this way. I need you to train that way. And I've just been like, yep, roger that, got it. So it's a much different dynamic. And it really varies on, people's way that they learn. So like, a lot of people do really well being told what to do. A lot of other people do really well when, there's a little bit more compromise or, what have you. But it's been really good because he's just been very on top of it and just straight to the point. I know what I need to do. I know what he expects of me. So it's just really easy to execute with him.
You think it comes from that military training you got? Because I know with military, when you give an order, like you saw the movie Forrest Gump when the guy says, "Gump, what is this army? Do it, tell me, drill sergeant, sir." Jesus, Gump, yeah. You goddamn chief, you goddamn IQ 160. I think that military mindset comes in handy because you can understand orders, but also you have your mind, your free will. Like, what got you into the military? What position, your rank, where you were before you got out?
So I was an E5 sergeant, so NCO. And I was my job. So I started off as a paralegal, and then I kind of rerouted to do special victims. So I was working with the special victims, either in the service or civilian victims. And we would prosecute, the bad guys or bad girls. But I got out when I was an E5 in 2023. But I will say that mindset in the military has definitely helped with bodybuilding for sure.
So you're kind of like the Army version of Elizabeth Benson from Law and Order SVU.
Yes. Yeah.
Where's Faber?
I love that. I love that show.
Yeah. I used to watch a good bout of it. I was kind of when what's face left, when Stabler left, it kind of me fell off a bit. It did all right for the last few years, but then it's still on. I don't really watch it much anymore, But
they were the power duo for sure.
Yeah, it was like I used to watch the regular Law and Order. My favorites were Lenny and Lenny Briscoe and Mike Logan. When they those were my favorite. So we got here a comment here. We got shout out here. We have here Haley popping in. Let me put on my old man glasses for a minute. And she says, first one, hey, thank you. And also she says, do you plan on becoming a pro bodybuilder? Well, she already is. Because if you read the tag in the title, IFB figure pro, so she's already a pro.
Fresh.
I know. Yeah, so again, I'm gonna take a time criminal. So after getting the military and then getting the bodybuilding, what are you currently doing now? What is your current occupation?
So I am an online coach and personal trainer, and I love it.
Do you do like a lifestyle training? Have you ever been interested in maybe working with bodybuilders also?
I would love to work with bodybuilders, be able to train that type of, intensity and physique in the gym. But it's all lifestyle for now. But like I'll build my clients' meal plans, their training programs. I do have more online right now, which is fine because I love all of my clients and it's been a lot of fun. But before that, I was also paralegal still in the civilian side for family law. And that was a nightmare. So I left that job, finally started to coach, and it's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I remember watching these specials where they talk about how you don't really understand. It's one thing if you like I remember watching things. Cop says he rather work on something like theft, robbery, maybe homicide, but he does not want to be involved with anything like special units where you have to deal with the abuse of children, of women. That stuff can really affect you because that's how the Law and Order SVU series did it. They got that information from them, and it can be mental if you think about it. Like I grew up in a big family. I got nieces, nephews, brothers and sisters. I love children. I don't have any of my own. That's one of my regrets. I'm gonna always say, but I love my nieces and nephews like they were my own. I raised some of them when they were coming up, and just to see, I don't understand how anybody will want to hurt a child, I mean, sometimes you women, y'all, it's
Yeah.
just that thing. We love you, but at the same time, you make us want to hate you. You know,
Yeah.
you know. Oh yeah. We have your comment. Shout out to Haley again. She says this. Uh, you know, no, I mean planning on being a stage with Natalia Kovalev and Andrea Shaw. Well, she's not at that level yet.
Not even
She's
close.
figure. So figure is a totally different division. They wear high heels. They do have a good amount of muscle and development, but it's a different look. Like for you, is there anybody you pay attention to the division that you really admire their, be it your division, be it any division that you really admire their work ethic, their overall physique, and just presentation?
Yeah, absolutely. There's quite, I mean, obviously a lot of figure girls. Um, Lola Montez.
She's beautiful.
Oh my God, she is incredible. Her, and then I'm not good with names. She just won, I think, the New York Pro. Blonde, German,
I think that's
Kessel.
either Tessa. Or I think she. No, that's Winkle is competing this week. Nancy Winkle. Yeah, Eugenia Kessel. Yeah.
Yeah, her. Love her. Um, and then there's a couple other. I mean, there's a good handful. Um, but yeah, and then in women's physique, I'm not good with names, but there's like a good handful in each division that I'm like, that is just perfection. I absolutely love that. So even a lot of the bikini girls, I'm like, damn, like perfect.
Well,
So
like I said, I've been fighting about it for a long time, and I grew up in the era of the '80s when you had, women like Corey Everson, Bev Francis, Angela Langer, and here comes like, Kim Zavetsky and Linda Murray, and Vicky Gates, Laura Craval, Iris Kyle. One lady I got to meet a few years ago when I went to my first Vitamin show was Alina Popa, and she was just a stunning woman. I mean, she could have been Miss Olympia a couple of times, but Iris's physique was just one of those tough ones. But there's one lady who I'm the biggest fan of. And to me, she kind of rebooted the women's body division. She came along when they were like struggling with a few shows, and I think one thing, she's the current Miss Olympia, and that is Andrea Shaw.
she's
I know.
perfect.
She's like the fifth element. She's
Mhm.
perfect. She has great muscle, great beauty. She's not too big, but not too small. She has just everything. She's very feminine. I mean, people I've talked to and interviewed who know her, who are friends of her, tell me so much. But here's a story about this one. And this is one as my other guy would like to say, if you get it something, he says it's never do it for free. And often I get a little thing. Some of these acquaintances I made with these ladies and friendships, I get little gifts like that. I'm gonna shout out my friend and shout out my friend Eunice. She's getting ready. She's planning on competing. She runs a company with her partner Jolene. Bad Rap. The moniker is Big and Defined, Ripped and Pumped. They are also this coming next weekend. They are promoting women's bodybuilding and sponsoring the women's body division at the Tampa Bay Pro. Now, me and
Nice.
she's my sister. I call her my sister. She's a great lady. And, in a couple months, she's gonna be 61 years old. I mean,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, and it's been about a year ago when I went to Tampa to help out her friends, because I want to help out my friend. And I got to meet a gentleman that I listen to his music, watch him over the years, David Lee Roth, and it was my country ass would never seen this man in most of my life and he go to Tampa. But it was a few years ago, and it was a little bit after just a little bit after my birthday. I get a call from Eunice. It says, "Oh, I'm sending you something." I say, "What is it?" So a couple of days later, I guess it's in the mail. It's the issue of muscle development with Andrea on the cover. And this is, they don't do hard copies anymore. They just stopped making books. You had to go online. I used to collect
Mhm.
the muscle mags and stuff like that with my comics. But what makes it so great for me, and I love telling the story, is when the champ, and I told people, say, "Is this really her writing?" They told me, "Yes, that's her handwriting."
Oh, she's
I mean,
amazing.
she's amazing. She's so beautiful. She's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
But I got a friend also. He might reach out to you one day. I tell him, keep your hands off my girl. He's my brother. I love him. But he keeps hands on my girl. My man David, his name is David Bryant from the Female Body Forum. He's right there in Tampa. But he had his hand on my girl. He did it twice. He did it
Oh
twice.
no.
Victoria, he did it twice. But you know what? I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to let it go. I'm
Yeah.
trying to let it go. But you know what? Sometimes we men get jealous, especially when you got a brother, his hands on your girl. But I know she's my girl in my head, but you know, in real life,
Yeah.
you'll find something. I'm crazy. So, so so what made you choose to do the U.S. Championships? There's like quite a few shows that could be Olympic qualification. I mean, pro qualification. Like you would just maybe about a few weeks away, about a month away from the Olympia. I know one lady's planning on doing that. The amateurs and also this nationals.
Yeah, so we had talked about doing North Americans again, and I was kind of like, I don't really want to spend the money to get out there and do that one again. So I was like, let me look, closer. I didn't even know USA's was the thing, and I found it. I was like, okay, well, and it's in Vegas, so it's like 3 hours away, so that would be perfect. And then I found the region right before, so the weekend before, and I was like, this would be perfect. And Jacoby's like, say less, let's do it. And then mentally, I was like, okay, well, if I don't get my card at USA's, I want to try for Texas Nationals. And I think that's in December. And I was like, that would give me plenty of time to do a little mini, come out of that, hit prep hard again, and then, make my way down to Texas. So it was just kind of like a timing thing. So.
Yeah, it's smart to, take that time and say, you know what, maybe I don't want to rush it, but if there's a show that's close to me, more convenient for me, let me do it. Because, again, bodybuilding is an expensive sport, especially as an amateur, because you have your cost of entry fees, because you need two divisions, travel to the show, the hair, makeup, the tanning. I mean, there's so many expenses. And then when you become a pro, it kind of kicks up a little bit because you are stepping in on a bigger stage. We have here, shout out to Haley says, he says this. He says the Taekwondo is a very beautiful woman. She's been in a couple of my live streams, and at first I was a big fan of Natalia, but I respect what she does and what she has done for a sport. I want people. Hey, I really gotta really get into you before I really have respect for you. But yeah, that's smart. To do that show and then get it out of the way. So now, as I said. My other guy says, I don't have a plan, but what is your plan now?
So reverse out of this and just get as big as I possibly can. Probably do my debut end of next summer, maybe. So I want to do the Sasquatch Pro just because I love the colors and I love that it's Bigfoot and it's in Washington. Like, it's just beautiful. I was thinking that one, or maybe the Tampa Pro, or a Texas show. I think I want to do my debut for more of like overall experience, and then do as many shows as I can. That's what I want to do.
Well, I know they have San Antonio, and that's a little bit after the summer. That'd be a good show. Yeah. Also, there's a couple of Sasquatches. It's a very popular show. Tampa, it's a good show. There's also Atlanta that's coming up around the corner. I think there's quite a few more shows for for figure compared to the other divisions. Whereas you see lately, you don't have you at the Arnold anymore. And some promoters have dropped it. I think they had it at the it was at the Legion Sports Festival. But then I interviewed Lady Robin who did figure. She told me they dropped that in physique from that show. And that's right there in Nevada. And that's also another 3 hours drive from you. That could have been a great show.
But, I do like that one.
There's quite a few shows that get opportunity. So, folks, while we got Victoria here, we're going to do this. We're going to jump into her social media for a bit. Now, if you're interested in following her links are in the live in the description. So if you're interested and want to support her, reach out to her so we share your interest. But I'm going to tell you this. She's a pretty girl. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm a Southern gentleman. I'll tell lady, she's beautiful. You're pretty, But guys out there, and especially for you, as Victoria, I have a crime. I am a muscle person. Oh, y'all ladies excite me. Something about your muscles. Something like that. It warped my mind. But if you are that guy who might be a little bit too weird, and you have it, just do this. Stop. Don't do it. get some help. Don't send some strange stuff. Don't send like, hey Victoria, I got something to see you. Click, click, click. And come on. Have some common sense.
Get
You
some
get
help.
more with sugar than you do with vinegar. So you want to check her out, you want to follow her, appreciate it. Also, she worked with special victims. I know she knows police officers, cops, and tricks. Don't do it. Do it. You sick freaks. So, I'm sorry. I just said, I just be very passionate about this. I hear stories. I've seen some stuff. So we're going to jump into
Yeah.
social media for a bit. You want to follow the link to the description. Here she is, very dressed. Wow. She's dressed up like, like Lord of the Rings. You're like, what's her face who played Arwen?
I don't know her actual name, but Arwen, yeah.
Yeah. I watched the movies, and wow, you have some other. Wow, who's these?
So those are my besties. So the one in the middle is Denise, and then Nadine is on the outside.
Yeah. Oh wow. I mean, there's some fairy fantasies. So
Yep.
you're very much into this. Do you do this every year, like Halloween stuff like that?
I would like to, but so for those pictures, we went and saw a musician, Joel Sunny, who created this song for our favorite book series, A Court of Thorns and Roses and Throne of Glass. And about it, we all read it. There's my personality picture.
That dress is slamming.
Yeah, I like that one. But yeah, so we dressed up because the characters in the book are Fae. So they have like the long ears and everything. So we wanted to match.
Yeah. Here she is, comparisons between when she did the North Americans and between the USAs. What was you get critique for the judges? What do you feel like you need to work on the most? Because you look pretty good. I mean, you look like you got a little bit more density. You look like you're more better connection in your hamstrings and your glutes. What was the thing that you think you need to work on the most?
I definitely want to bring up my back. I do think if you go back to the back, I do think it looks like my tan kind of came off where my hair was. So it looks flat, but I do need to bring up density for sure in the middle of my back, with bigger legs. But yeah, just mainly density and width for sure.
Yeah, because I know with the with figure division, where I learned this, they want that nice roundness in the shoulders. They want that wider, really wide lift. You want that very how someone best describe it, upside down Dorito look.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And what was that feeling when here's your coach right there, Justin, right?
Yeah.
He looks like a madman. He's a mad scientist. What was that feeling like when you heard that, hey, you're IFB Pro?
I was just like, okay, like what am I supposed to do now? Like I don't think it's clicked yet, because like I've really wanted this, and then now that I have it, it's like, okay, well now I want to do something with it. I don't want to take a long off season. I want to start doing shows now, but it's just kind of like, all right, let's be smart about this, grow into it. It's definitely a different feeling instead of prepping for like a national show. Now I'm like, okay, now I really need to fine tune and really bring up, specific areas so that now I'm competitive in the pro league and not just an amateur. So it's definitely a huge mentality shift too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, many competitors tell me that it's like when we become an MCT competitor, you're a small fish in a small pond. But then when you get to the IFBB, you become a small fish in a bigger pond, because you're going to compete with some competitors who have competed for maybe 10 years or more, who have been Olympia level competitors, who have back in the past they used to have figured at the Arnold Classic, and still the time to grow. And like I said, she looks really good. I mean. Great presentation. Who's these people?
So going from left to right, my dad, and then that's Mello, my uncle. That's me. That's my mom, and then that's my Aunt Shondi.
Well, I'm gonna say, young lady, just as pretty as your mama.
Oh, thank you.
Your dad, he had a good hand in getting your genes. You should be proud of yourself. So, what was that like when you would talk to your parents when you got into the sport of bodybuilding? Because I know in some situations they're concerned because bodybuilding is a very extreme sport, especially for women.
Yeah. I think I told my dad first that I was gonna start bodybuilding, and I think he knew what came with it, so he was kind of like, "Just be smart." I was like, "I will be." And my mom about had a field day with it. She was not she, just kind of like your typical mom concerns, I want you to be very girly and cutesy all the time. It's like I can be. There's nothing that is keeping me from, doing that. But I think she shifted a little bit. I think she's more happier now. Now that she's been able to see a lot of it in person, I think her, tone on it has changed a lot in a positive way. So
Yeah, that's the thing is, I think with any parent, should be worried about like it's one thing if you play some kind of sport, like you play football, basketball, baseball. Yeah, you be worried about your kids, but because of the often the stink eye bodybuilding gets, because again it's very extreme, and also the use of performance enhancers and all the stuff that goes around with diuretics and all the stories you hear about, bodybuilders dying. I've done content on mixed martial arts and in combat sports, and often you have more boxers die in the ring, out of the ring, than bodybuilders because it's a very
yeah,
violent sport. But
yeah,
with bodybuilding, because it gets that stink eye because of the use of performance enhancers. Like, they had a whole congressional hearing a few years ago on baseball because they were using steroids, but those guys are mostly multi-millionaires. They can do whatever they want.
yep,
So, and, it's good that your mom kind of changed your mind on it because sometimes it's tough to see your child go through especially what y'all go through as bodybuilders, the dehydration, the
hmm
prep, the tired, the hungry, I was talking to one lady, her prep, she only barely can have a drop of water because she wants to, because the coach said, you can chew some gum, but you can't have a drop of water.
yeah. That's not good.
Yeah.
And like
But,
with this being my third, basically,
and you said this was your third prep, and for you, what's that experience like as you go through a prep, especially as you're tired, you're hungry, you rest, recovery, all that's involved for you in your process.
to be honest, for me, it's easy in the sense of, I have a set of certain things I need to get done each day, knock them out, and then I can, come back home, relax, get my recovery in, play my Switch. It's very calm. I mean, this prep was by far the best. So, I mean, hopefully they stay like this. If not, I'll find a way to get it done regardless. But yeah, I love prep. It's so easy. You wake up, do fasted cardio, you eat, you train, come back home, shower, eat, sleep, repeat. That's it. It's very nice. I love it.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite fights back then was Mike Tyson says, "I just like to fight. I just like to bust people up and get the
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, if you feel comfortable, I think that's one thing somebody tells me that you have to, be comfortable with being uncomfortable
Yeah.
because you're going through very mood swings. Your body is going through stuff, especially when you're like I had an interview with a lady just the weekend when she talked about how when she's going through prep, how her body was so you know like everything was like feel like pins and needles because
Yeah.
your body fat is so low, and it's really tough for anybody. Like for you, what's that thing that really helps you in your progress, and what's the thing you think can help you evolve more as a bodybuilder?
I think it's just, it's something I want to do. So why am I going to make an excuse to not do it? So if the end goal is to look the best on stage, why am I going to do anything that's going to keep that from happening? Everyone's going to see me up there. I don't want 1 inch of something going wrong or not looking right because, I decided to not do cardio or I ate too much. Um, it's the thing that keeps me going is this is what I want to do. This is what I need to do to get there. Why am I going to make an excuse to not do it? So it's just very just staying on top of it, um, keeping that promise to myself, of following through, um, And it becomes easier when you kind of think of it as like, this is what I want to do, so I'm going to do it. No one else is making me do this. I don't have to do this. It's something I want to do, so why am I going to do it half-assed? That's what I think.
Your mentality: go hard or go home.
Yep.
I think everybody has different things they use in their process and their development in the sport. And it is a sport. It's seen one way. Some see it's discipline. Some see it's a hobby. Because we go back to expense. Because for a lady, you have your cost for your suits that might be $1,000. The hair, the makeup, because you have to have this presentation, very feminine, but with the muscle all together. For the guys, they have their expenses, they cost us, but on show day, they got to put on a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts. That's about it.
Yep.
And and conversations, ladies, many of you competitors love what you're doing, and it's something that drives you. Like there's a bit of time we feel like why I'm doing this. I mean, I'm not getting anything out of it. I'm putting more back into it than I get out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
Ever been happened to you?
Oh, no, because it's, going back to what I said, this is what I want to do. So if I'm putting as much as I can into it, that's what I'm getting out of it. This whole last prep up, leading up to my pro card, I didn't miss one cardio session. I didn't miss a single meal. I didn't miss a single lift. It's just, I'm going to get out what I put into it. I don't want to leave anything to chance. So if you're feeling that way, something's missing. That's just in my opinion. Either you're not doing something or you're doing too much and eating, whatever it is. So it's definitely I think it's someone's ability to actually do this sport. So if they feel like they're not getting what they're putting into it, it's because they're not putting enough into it. That's what I think.
You can't, like I said, you can't come in half-assed when you do the sport. You have to put all or nothing.
Yeah.
Investing the time, the money, the effort. Understand everything that's involved with it, with the consistency again, and also the discipline. Rest, recovery is very important. Like for you, especially during your week, what's it like for you? Training, everything else. What's your daily routine?
So beginning of the week, Sunday, Mondays, and Wednesdays, I have clients in person. First thing in the morning, 8:00. But I love it. I wake up early, make my breakfast, have my breakfast on the way to the gym, train my clients. I'll eat in between. I'll get steps in between. And then after I'm done with clients, I'll head to my gym or I'll lift at that gym, get my lift in, cardio, come home, walk my dog. I don't know if you can see her.
That's it.
Yeah, walk my dog, and then I'll either read or, play video games. And it's just very, very calm, low stress. It's been really nice lately.
Wow, a girl who says she likes playing video games.
Yeah.
I mean, hey guys, if she's single, hey, reach out to her. But you gotta be cool. You gotta be cool. What kind of dog? What kind of dog is that?
She, I think, is like Jack Russell mixed. Shiba.
So pretty much a mutt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have mutts. So my grandfather used to have a German Shepherd for hunting dogs. But we mostly go with mutts. So, yeah, it's nice to enjoy your life, enjoy your time, do what you can do with it, and also work and train. Like the gym is often that place where a lot of people like to go. It's their relaxation. It's their second home from home. It's a church for them. It's therapy. Like when you get in the gym, what's that thing you say? You know what? It's a great day to do it. And other thing, shit, here we go again.
Yeah. I mean, basically that. It's just, now's my time. I get to listen to the music I want to listen to. I don't have to talk to anyone. I don't have to be nice. I mean, I am nice, but I don't have to be nice to anyone. It's just, an hour and a half max of just, not having to socialize, just getting what I need to done. And it's like you said, it's like someone's zen, their space. So I walk in and I'm like, all right, my time.
So what's your favorite thing you like to work out and the thing you don't like? You like, I don't want to do this today, but I know I got to do it because you want to have that overall look, especially in figure.
So I hate posterior chain days. Don't know why. The lifts are just kind of boring. I can't do like for my leg days, I have either a hack squat or Smith squat, and I can like load that up, and I'm like mentally, I'm like, this is a lot of weight. I'm gonna kill myself. This is gonna be great. But with posterior chain days, it's just hamstring, glutes, and back. There's not really. It's just kind of like, meh. But leg days are my favorite. Push days are my favorite. Um, literally every lift besides posterior is my favorite.
Anytime, Victoria, when I hear a female say they love leg day, from conversations I have quite a few bodybuilders, they look at you people like sick freaks. Y'all
Yep.
masochists. You're sick freak.
Yep.
Why?
Like, who likes leg days?
Yeah, it's like one of my. I always bring this up. One of my favorite episodes of Chappelle's show is when Charlie Murphy's True Horror Story about Rick James, in a time when Rick visits Eddie's house, and he goes like, "F your couch, Eddie Murphy, F your couch," and then Charlie and Eddie beats Rick James's legs, and he's crawling out of the house, like, "Where's my legs, Eddie Murphy?" That's leg day for pretty much bodybuilders, because you feel like Charlie Murphy, Eddie Murphy be up your legs, And I think everybody has their favorites. Some ladies, they don't like to do any arm days. Some ladies like to do chest days. Some ladies don't like to do back days. But here's the thing: is you work on your strength as much as your weakness. Like, what do you feel like your strongest physical, presentation if you look overall?
My legs for sure. My quads. I think those are like my best feature right now on stage. But I really want to do more, like really focus on growing my upper, bigger delts, bigger chest, obviously bigger back, but it's a lot. The push days are a lot of fun, lots of fun. I love those. So quads are good. I could always grow bigger glutes. So, I mean, just overall, I just need to grow. So
that's the point. Yeah, because if you look at the division now, it has really evolved in the last few years between women's bodybuilding has changed, physique. This weekend, today, Paula Ranta, who's just, I got to meet Paula when I was at Tampa. She was, a lot smaller than, but she has really grown. And you look at, your friend, one lady I think is one of your table mates, Michelle Matney. I've been talking to her. I like to get Michelle, because she just, her back is just, wow. I mean,
massive.
Yeah, I mean, one couple parts, a nice back, nice set of abs, nice pecs. I love that in a woman, but she's just wow. I mean, I'm hoping we can, we've been talking, maybe do the interview with her.
Do it.
I mean, I love to, because I love the when I exchange with you ladies, but as the evolution of every division, if you look at it, there's girls in figure right now who can do physique. Or we do, there's women in bikini can do most definitely figure. There's women wellness and probably go on women's bodybuilding. And then there's a new vision, excuse me. It's called Fit Model. It's disgusting. I have nothing against them per se. Nothing against them, but here's my thought on it. It would be better as a novice or a transformation division. And I don't think it has a really place in the pro level, because after a while, right now I'm seeing stories with some women who come all the way from Kitty go down to the division. It's going to transmogrify and become what the bikini division started off with, but to what it is now. So what's the point to have a division where after a while it's going to look like the division is supposed to be rebooting?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, big time. I think it's good at the amateur level, just to get the women who have never done this before, get their feet wet. If this is something they really want to do, and they haven't spent a lot of time trying to grow muscle, that's perfect for them. But like you said, in the pro leagues, it's like, okay, why? It's I don't want to talk too much bad about it, but
no, you're not talking bad. You're giving your thought and your opinion. It's not being bad. It's just having an opinion on something. And me particularly, I'll talk bad because I don't care. I'm not a bodybuilder.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't know. With bikini, you still have muscle. they have really strong glutes. They still have the cap shoulders. A lot of them have really good quad separation, immaculate. But fit model is just kind of like, all right, let's diet for 3 weeks and then throw on a tan and see how we do. I can see how it gets more people in the door, probably, driving money up, the sales up, but it's kind of, I'm not a fan. Not really.
Yeah, I interviewed a couple of ladies who fit model, and I mean, we met one lady, and she's a nice lady. I joke with her, we pick on her, but she knows my mindset of. But I feel like when the thing is it goes back to the judging, where if you feel like this competitor is looking like this, well, tell them, you know what, you're outgrowing this division. You might need to
Yeah.
move up. Like when Justin saw you doing the physique poses, he says, you know what, she has potential. But like I said again, you still are more comfortable doing figure because you can grow in figure, because from one look at you, you're a nice physique, you're a smaller girl, but it takes time to grow in the division and see how you do. And
Yeah.
also you step up as a pro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And especially growing into women's physique, there's a whole different, size range that you got to think about versus figure. And then, like you said, it comes down to the judging too. Like if they're rewarding the bigger girls in bikini, then yeah, the division is going to change, which is why I think they added the fit model, because now we have bikini competitors not looking like bikini. We need something, lower in musculature to bring more women back in. So it definitely comes down to the judging. But like you said, it's the different size and everything. Like with figure, reward the people that are fitting the figure specifications and not women's physique in heels, so wild.
Like I said again, I'm an outsider, and I've been following sport for a long time. But I see things that I wish people put. I know people want to jump on. Hey, it's cool. It's just band. Honestly, I'm not where that person is going to be a bandwagon jumper. I'm just going to step back and say, you know what? I'm kind of skeptical about it. But okay, we'll see how it does first.
Yeah.
So other than just training, dieting, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies? Like what things that other than pulling out little ears and going to concerts?
Reading. So I like to read. I'll take my dog for walks, little trips. I also play guitar, which I just started playing again